artist art. She says artist art. Art just falls out of her ears. Just it's like, oh, there's some art. I will sell it for 400 euros. Okay.
Yes, it's a possibility.
There we are. Yep. This is what we think currently Tyrannosaurus did. We think it basically roosted, which makes sense because that's what chickens do. This is how the Tyrannosaurus propelled itself forward. It had just a very large skateboard, and it did not have to use its powerful digitigrade legs any longer. Yeah. This is a Los Angeles Tyrannosaurus. It is from the hood, as you can see. He's a skate punk Tyrannosaur. That's those powerful legs are propelling him along. It's like a Was Hawk, mein homie. Yeah.
So
I'm having fun.
that's more than anyone.
No, I'm enjoying this too. Because normally this talk is very dull. That's why I wanted an artist here. Okay.
If you get two, you get double the fun.
So we've talked about tail placement. We've talked about the head, and both in physical art as well as writing or role play, consider how can this creature talk? Where is the connection going to be? We talked about the leg. Here's another thing that pisses me off. When somebody tells me, my character is a digitigrade raccoon. Not all animals are digitigrade. Raccoons, procyonids, are plantigrade. The bear is plantigrade. If you look at their paws, they walk on the full plantar surface of the paw. If you have a digitigrade raccoon, that is an outer space raccoon. That's rocket raccoon you're dealing with there. Here, of course, we have the cartoon bear. All cartoons are digitigrade. I'm sorry, are plantigrade, as you notice. Well, I hope we get a copy of this when we're done. Okay.
Sure.
We talked about placement of the tail, placement of the head, the structure of the leg. At this point, before I get any deeper into this, are there any questions? Okay, let's talk about fur. Fur is wonderful. Fur is fluffy. It feels nice, right? Have you ever petted a cat? And you pet the cat down this way and the cat says, oh, purr, I love you, oh, purr, purr, purr. Have you ever then tried to pet the cat this way? What does the cat do? It turns into a buzzsaw and begins to tear the flesh from the hand that was petting it the wrong way, as we see here. Why is that? I will allow my first to stay seated, but could you raise your arm up over your head? Fur has a direction to it. It has a natural nape. In English, we call it the nape of the fur. Fur grows in a single direction. If you go this way, you notice it kind of, ow, I'm sorry.
Use this instead. It doesn't bite that much.
Whatever the hell. Okay, yeah.
This name is Mozart.
Yeah, this fur has a nape. See? It goes in a single direction. Our hair does the same thing. If you go this way, not only does it mess it up and give it a bad hair day, but this is painful to the animal. Now let us look at various role-play environments or drawings, especially the post-apocalyptic drawings. They say descriptions. I have a wolf. My character is an anthropomorphic digitigrade wolf who wears skin-tight leather. Really? Oh, my character is a female panther and she dresses in spandex. Okay, the fur grows in this direction. Now I'm going to try to pull the skin-tight leather over it this way, or the spandex over it this way. Could you draw what a furry leg wearing spandex is going to look like once the spandex has been stretched over it and pulled up this way. Yes.
You can only guess.
Yeah, that is what you're going to have, basically cottage cheese legs. That's
Well, why not fishnet stockings then?
Fishnet stocking, okay. Let us draw fishnet stockings on, let us say, a border collie or some other, or some other.
You guys are killing me, really.
We're having fun.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I can't wait. How does this work?
Okay. Fishnet stockings is going to look like when my Aunt Sadie used to wear stockings. Aunt Sadie did not think it was necessary to shave her legs if she wore stockings. But Aunt Sadie looked very much like this in her fishnet stockings. People tend to ignore where the fur goes. I have seen stories, and I've written stories, where I've tried to explain what can this poor creature do. This creature is in a oh, hello.
Sorry.
That's okay. This creature is in a human society where it is expected that it will wear clothing. What can it do? This border collie with long fur that grows this way. Yes? It could shave. It could. It would look really freaky. But you're right. It is possible. It could shave. Perfect. The loose-fitting clothing, a kimono, the muumuu that they wear in Hawaii, just like a big tent you put over your body, loose sweatpants, a shirt 4 or 5 sizes too too large.
Fishnet.
Okay,
A tribble.
I'll let you keep going.
You could also get a tattoo over the fur. I love that too.
Because rather than trying to wear spandex, if you pulled like a large pair of sweatpants that is not going to pull the fur up, or a muumuu, a kimono, which are very, very civilized and actually very attractive clothing, you don't need to put your female pantheress in fishnet stockings and spandex to make her look sexy. She won't. But if you put her, say, in a Japanese kimono with the long, full sleeves, loose fitting around the body, here she is.
It's not exactly a kimono, it's just...
Okay, well, she's a Catholic pantheress in a choir. That's what she is. There you go. Here, the pantheress nun, okay? That's it. Okay, look at a nun's habit. Because the nun's habit is about the loosest piece of clothing there is. I happen to find it the sexiest piece of clothing there is, but that's just me. Anyway, oh yeah, people will read that. Hello, YouTube. Great, yeah. Here come the rumors. So yes, the fur. What about, let's go back to the tail. Have you ever seen a character that is wearing human pants and the tail just is sort of magically attached at the back of the pants?
Yes.
How did that character get dressed this morning? Did that wolf pull on his pair of skin-tight leather pants and then somehow try to feed his tail through a little hole that big? Took him 45 minutes because he had to make sure the fur didn't get messed up? Or, here's an easy one, design a pair of pants for your creature. A loose-fitting pair of pants, the best I've seen people design, is a pair of pants that we have a zipper and a button in the front. They have basically a button or a Velcro closure that they simply pull their pants up, and when they reach the base of the tail, they simply then pull the Velcro closure closed. Velcro, I don't know, it sounds good in a story, but it seems to me that, you know, Velcro sometimes gets a little old. and doesn't stick as well. You know, that could be really awkward at like a job interview. You know, when you're happy to get the job interview and you wag your tail and the Velcro gives way and the pants, which are loose, go, you might get the job. I don't know. Maybe that's what it takes. Yeah, oh, beautiful. Here we go. Keep drawing. I find that exceptionally attractive. Okay.
But wouldn't it chafe?
What?
But wouldn't it chafe?
It might well chafe. That's good. That's a very good question. Will it chafe? Maybe you need to have at least a small gap around it, at which case we have to balance chafing and modesty because, well, because.
We don't know what is chafe is.
Oh, it's when it rubs. If you, for example, if your shoe does not fit and it rubs at the skin and it sometimes makes it hurt, well, this might do the same thing. You now have fabric that will rub at the base of the tail. I don't know. Ah, yes, yes.
Something that I noticed, the tail normally goes down, so there's nothing really holding this thing up because it doesn't go up.
It depends on it. You're right. We have a nice husky here. This tail is designed, boy, that sounds funny. This tail was designed for these pants. But this works because, you notice we're following the curve of the spine, right? Nice, graceful curve. But what if you have a tail that does not stand up? Well, now you've got a problem. Yes?
Yeah. It's just why don't our pants slip down simply?
Because we wear belts. A belt! You put a belt around it, yes. Yes.
The other problem is with Velcro, just imagine the fur.
Oh, right, Velcro and fur. Over time, yeah, ow.
There's actually one
Yep.
type of Velcro you can get to pants which can rip out for hair if you're unfortunate.
Exactly. Now this one here, I would think you would probably want to wear a belt to keep it simply from, because some tails do go down. Let's also consider the tail on a biped. What is the purpose of a tail on, there we go. That's a horse. I like that's a horse. Let's draw, uh-oh. I'm wondering what's coming.
I'm just.
If we draw our four-legged creature, you notice the tail is an extension of the body. Why do most creatures have tails? What are they for? Balance. They're for balance, a rudder, something to counterbalance the weight of the body when this creature runs. Fish have the same motion as an otter, which has the same motion as a cat. The tail is basically following behind and keeping the center of gravity centered. If you are a bipedal creature, you really don't need a tail. When we walk, do you notice we have a tendency when we walk to swing our arms like this? This is what we're doing. We are counterbalancing. Oh dear. We are counterbalancing our body. When my left foot goes forward, this arm goes forward to maintain that center of gravity. So, yes, that's another purpose of tails, the fly swatcher. So, okay, we have a creature that I guess has evolved to be bipedal. Would it also lose its tail? We did. Oh, I'm sorry, unless you're from Nebraska, in which case mankind was invented 6,000 years ago magically and we never had tails. In my country, I'm required to state that. But if your animal evolves up to the bipedal stance, maybe it will lose the tail. Consider that. I mentioned rocket raccoon earlier. There was a very heated discussion in the early days of furry fandom. Fred Patton started it, and it went on for a month. A furry spacesuit. What would you do with the tail? Would you build an extension on the spacesuit? Would you tuck the tail down along the leg? If you build an extension of the spacesuit, is it going to have to be articulated the way the arms are? Yes, here we have,
It
and
will
ears
take
too.
time. It will
The ears,
take time.
exactly, the ears too. Are you going to have a space for the ears? People were arguing this. We had physicists, we had NASA engineers weighing, well, you can't do that because you're going to add stress to that there, and if you add stress, you can't have that. And other people saying, yes, but you can't tuck the tail down against your leg, dude, because that's going to start chafing after a while. And oh, would the mask not also have to be longer?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
interrupted.
It's a fur park.
It's a pocket
Well, the
spring.
trouble is the tail would have to stick out straight because of the limitations of the pressurized suit.
Precisely. You cannot have that much articulation, yes.
Another problem for some with that drawing is, I think it's not supposed to be like that. If you have a glass like that, is it?
Exactly. The reason the space helmets are round is for structural support. So this kind of helmet probably would not support, you would have to have a real big bubble going around it there to accommodate the muzzle.
You should just put them in a real big bubble, the whole animal.
Like a giant space hamster ball. That would work. Just tie a tether to it. Then, yeah, just like that. But then what would you do when you have to do your spacewalk and you have to fix the antenna? You're in a bubble.
Arm thingy? Stick it through?
All robotic arms.
Robotic, yes. I like that, robotic arms. Why do I need to put my hands out? I can have my bubble little ship. But that's so cute, though. This is how I wanted the spacesuit to look. Or we could have the little spider crab thing down here with your furry inside, happily controlling it. Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
They like-
I think it is.
Yeah, I think they like to refer to a lot of times to the spacesuit as sort of a ship of its own.
You're correct. So we. Yes.
One problem, one idea in could come up with what was that the astronaut was required to have their tail amputated.
I'm
and
sorry?
Had their tails amputated and then shift out with a robotic one.
I'm liking this idea more and more because this solves a lot of problems. Plus, you're in space. If you heat it, you don't need to wear clothes. You don't have to worry about your fur getting, in the tight leather. What gave rise to this argument was a drawing someone did of a space cat. And the artist, it was actually a very nice, it was a painting if I remember. The artist did a very good job on the space cat, but couldn't figure out the tail and the space suit. So we saw the space cat happily in his big bubble suit and his big, pressure suit, but his normal tail was just sticking out and fluttering around in space. And no, you know how a cat's tail puffs out sometimes? Imagine what that's gonna do.
God.
You are in vacuum. You are in near absolute zero. Yes, just like that. The tail is going to explode. That's why the cat looks so pissed off there. Because yeah. I like it. Fur. Okay, we have talked about tail placement. We talked about the skull. We talked about the legs. We talked about fur. Oh yes.
And if the tail goes on that cat, then the rest of it will also be sucked out through that hole.
Exactly. The rest of the cat would be sucked comically out through that hole in the back. Yeah. Okay. This was another solution. This was actually another solution. Somebody came up with a giant butt bubble that the tail could fit in. I forgot about that. It just was actually a suggestion. I hate to say it, but this works. This takes care of all the issues. It looks silly, but it works. Yes.
It's like this
piercings on tails. How did that work?
Piercings on tails, I think would work the same as piercings anywhere else. Why the hell? I mean, people pierce portions of their bodies that I would think that evolutionarily you really don't want to have pierced.
You can pierce your bones when you pierce your tail.
You can't, oh God, ow, yes. The tail doesn't have a lot of meat on it. It's
What
mostly,
about stretching? There are people who have stretching
you're a
holes
very
in
weird
the
person.
tail.
So yeah, if you pierce the tail, you're going to pierce the bone. That is going to get infected. If you stretch the fur around it, or the flesh, you can get a piercing, but it comes back to the same thing. Why? Why do they do this in this country? In my country, we have men and even women who try to expand their earlobes till they're very huge, and then they put a giant open ring in it. So
you
you
have
can,
them like this big here.
oh, we've got them
I
like
have
this
one
big.
here.
What?
It's not that big, but it's exactly that.
Ah, but okay, at least because you put an adornment in it. They make a giant hole that you could throw a baseball through. And I know because I've tried. Unsuccessfully.
Besides any fur area, the fur is just a bit longer, you don't see the
Yep.
piercing anymore anyhow.
It
But
might
yes.
disappear.
Yes, my word.
Also, remember, one of the purposes of an animal's fur is to regulate heat. They can raise their fur, they can lower their fur. They can waterproof themselves by tucking the fur down. If you add a piercing, you're interrupting that. Yes?
What about horns, for example? How should we place them on the cranium?
If you wanted horns,
Yeah.
you would place them, okay, let's go back to our craniums here. Here we go, this guy's perfect. If you wanted horns, if you have an animal head, you can place them in the place they normally would be. If this were a cow, for example, the horns are, I believe they're out to the front of the ears or the back of the, I can't remember. Some,
Depends.
yeah.
It depends on the species of cow too.
You can put the horns where they could naturally go, as long as they do not block the ear canal, as long as they do not prevent the jaw from opening.
Weight.
What?
The weight of the horn.
The weight of the horn. If you look at a stag, for example, which has the huge rack of antlers, have you ever noticed a stag's neck is very thick and very muscular? Because that is designed to hold up the weight of those antlers. Also notice they don't have those antlers throughout the year. They will fall off. And the stag then has to get stag Viagra to get new antlers to grow. Yes?
And actually, that's a funny thing because you always see Santa's reindeers have horns. That means they are actually females.
Exactly. Nobody knows that. Now, there's one thing, as they finish drawing, we're running a little low on time, but I want to cover because this always seems to come up. And I'm going to leave it to my artists here to draw this because it's going to be a lot of fun. Wings. If you could take a bipedal creature, oh, we're drawing bones now. Or just at least the lines. I am a creature. I'm going to add wings to my body.
So just from front, straight front.
Yeah, oh, that's the easy way. I want you to draw it from the back. Show me where my wings are going to be attached. You can't do it. Try.
Yeah, we don't have enough wing blades and must.
Exactly. I used to work with birds of prey. I know their anatomy very well. A bird of prey, if you were to take off all of its feathers and skin, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that you should, but if you would find, we call it the keel. It is a very, very pronounced bony structure that sticks out from the chest about this far, if I was the bird. And it has enormous muscles that are anchored to this hard keel. These muscles are designed to pull the wings forward with enough force to support the weight of this animal in the air, to give it enough propulsion to get off the ground. So now, we're going to look at the human body.
Should I just add a ring?
Oh, you can do anything you want. I want to see how you do it. A lot of artists will attempt to attach the wing to the collarbone. Not the collar, to the shoulder blade.
That's right.
Yeah, this is the shoulder blade back here. It's the back of our shoulder. They will attempt to attach the wing to it. That's like an airplane wing, but okay, that's okay.
No, it's missing the feathers.
Oh, missing the feathers, that's why, okay. Also notice the wing is exactly the same as our arm. We have the humerus, the radius and ulna, the phalanges. That is the fingers.
Sorry.
The fingers are here. The feathers are attached to the tips of the fingers. This is the forearm. This is the upper arm. If you attach it to the shoulder blade, where are the muscles that are going to either pull it forward or down? You don't have them. There's nowhere to anchor them. You can't anchor them to ribs. Ribs have a tendency to break. They're designed for support. Well, you know, for when the lion comes out and tries to bite you. That keeps your heart and lungs intact. Also makes you crunchy. You cannot attach the wing to the shoulder blade. Another that I've seen, somebody tried to draw a dragon, and they draw the dragon from the side. He has basically two sets of shoulders, and the wings are the rear set, and his arms are the front set. A valiant attempt to overcome this anatomical puzzle, but it ain't gonna fly, literally. Because I would like to see how that attachment is made. Are you aware that our arm, hold your hand up, everybody, your shoulder is not attached to your spine. There is no attachment of your arm to your spine. This is all muscle that holds this here. And if you notice the structure of our shoulder, there's this big round ball of muscle here, and this big, huge, huge muscle that stretches down the front. That's because oh yes, I love this. It's like, where do we put it? There is no socket joint. There is nowhere to anchor it. The wing has to be able to be anchored in the front. And if the arm is in the way, the wing cannot be anchored in the front. People have said, oh, the arm will be the wing. We'll like birds, we will have wings. Our arms will be the wings.
Batman.
Like Batman. And oh, there's always some, oh, what about the wingsuits? What about the gliding suits? Okay, yeah. If you could design your body to have those membranes, you could glide, but you will not generate lift. Those membranes also are made out of extremely lightweight and extremely tough polymer. Try to get flesh to stand up to that. Yes?
One idea I have is between the shoulder blades and someone make an not existing bone which will look sort of like this, nicely attached through the body all the way to the front of the rib cage.
Where goes the lungs and everything?
Yeah,
But
there's
it's
things
still
in the way.
as
Lungs,
a matter
heart.
of thinking out of the box and think new anatomy, new body parts and new